Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois.
If the Giants win, that game's at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. A drive to right. And the Giants will win tonight. Here's Crawford with the winning run. And San Francisco survives to see another day.
And San Francisco does survive to see another day in a classic ball game. Giants 6-13-1, just a little bit better than 5-10-2. And the Cubs fall, and it's now a 2-1 series lead for Chicago. Welcome in, Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. He's Todd Hollingsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Look, that was a classic. We'll get into all the moves and the machinations and everything that went with it, but it was a classic ball game to watch.
I think it's a reminder that every game has to be taken, not that this one wasn't, but taken seriously. It's the field that you have. I mean, you see a team in the San Francisco Giants whose back is against the wall all game long, fight until, the very last out. Understood that, they had to find a way to score a run. You saw the resiliency. You saw it in extra innings. They were bending, and then they finally were able to get a couple of hits together and get that winning run across. The Chicago Cubs, listen, I mean, we were in great position. Everything was right. Jake Arrieta on the mound, good effort against Madison Bumgarner, but at the end, I mean, you just found out how resilient this team is. There's a reason the San Francisco Giants have won 3 championships in the last 5 years, Cappy, and I think regardless of what happens in this series, you'll look at the San Francisco Giants and say, I now understand why if you didn't before.
Yeah, absolutely. They are a bunch of gamers, a bunch of warriors. You don't look and go, boy, that guy's got 38 home runs. Nobody like that in their lineup. But when they have to come through, the Connor Gillespies, the Joe Panics, the Brandon Crawfords, obviously Buster Posey, they get it done.
Yeah, they just find a way. I mean, that's just it. I mean, it's not perfect baseball. They don't really have that formula. They give up home runs. Their closer blows a save. But they find a way at times. I call it holding the deficit. Even they held the deficit in this ball game when the Cubs had an opportunity and took the lead in this ball game. The San Francisco Giants kept themselves within eye shot of getting back into this one, and that's ultimately what ends up happening is they give themselves an opportunity. They stayed with it, kept things close, got things going there in the 8th inning as things got a little bit complicated for the Chicago Cubs, and then they pushed the go-ahead runs across. Now, ultimately, they give it back, and it took 13 to get it done, but they found a way.
All right, let's go to that 8th inning, the fateful 8th inning. Cubs are clinging on to a lead. Joe Madden goes to Aroldis Chapman, and Connor Gillespie, who was the star, the big hero in the wild card game, that ball just out of the reach of Albert Almora, and it will score 2 runs, and it will give the Giants a 4-3 lead. And, well, he smoked that ball.
Yeah, he did. You heard during the broadcast that he hadn't even seen a fastball at triple digits in his big league career. So there you go. First one he sees, he turns around right there. Short, quick swing. It's what you have to do when you're going up against velocity, lefty-lefty matchup. I mean, it's some deductive reasoning there. What are you looking for? You're looking for a fastball. If I can turn this velocity around, let the velocity do the work. And you see how short and quick he is to the ball right there, level swing. And, he got the result he needed right there, found that barrel.
Connor Gillespie strikes again. That 2-run triple gives the Giants a 4-3 lead. They would add another run, 5-3 lead. Let's go to the 9th inning. The Cubs have a man on, and Chris Bryant plays hero.
Once again, I'll tell you, gets a slider out over the plate. We told you the book on Sergio Romo, you're going to see a ton of sliders. Chris Bryant looked to be aggressive, swung at the first pitch. It was a 86-mile-an-hour sinker over the top, and then gets that little cement mixer slider that ends up out over the plate, 78 miles an hour. Gets just enough of it. Thank you for that car right there in the roof. Like it hit the roof of the car and gets into the stands, ties this one up. That was a great swing. And, here's the thing, Cappy. I really felt like after this home run, the Cubs were going to continue to get to Romo. Unfortunately, it did not happen. This was an isolated moment. I felt like the at-bat that Dexter Fowler threw out there that led to the Chris Bryant home run felt like momentum offensively. We've talked about this team and some of the struggles, and you certainly saw it in this game where, the Cubs went inning after inning without even getting a hit, that after the Chris Bryant homer, they usually feed off each other so particularly well and have all season long, that after the Bryant homer, we were going to get, let's do this again. We're going to get a few more runs here. Unfortunately, Anthony Rizzo continues to work through some struggles, and some guys in this lineup just weren't able to get anything going.
All right, now let's go to the bottom of the 9th, because the Giants had a golden chance to win the ball game, and Albert Almora, who is a plus outfielder, as good as any you're going to find, makes a magnificent catch. That ball drops and the ball game is over. He throws back to first. There's not even a base runner in sight. That is a double play.
Just pure athleticism, Mr. Almora. What an incredible catch. You see that right there. I can't really express to you, I'll try to keep this short, how difficult this catch is. If you see, listen, off the bat of a right-handed hitter, that ball is going to be tailing towards the line. Almora knows that. That's why you see him leave his feet. Not an easy play. Remember, this is the first time he's in the San Francisco Giants outfield. You know, I'm sure he went out there yesterday, took some fly balls and got, as acclimated as he could. But that is an incredible catch. I mean, for somebody who was a Dodger and played in San Francisco year after year after year, that's not an easy catch. For the first time playing on this field, wow, what a play.
All right, watch this. This is the distance he covers. That ball's smoked, and he is on his horse. Look at this catch. He goes 58 feet, 7 inches. His first step was in 0.2 seconds, and his accuracy angle, the best route you take, 95.9% was where it was supposed to be. He was phenomenal.
That's even considering the tailing baseball towards the line. The one thing that really stands out to me on that is not the ground he covered or even his speed. It's how fast he got up to speed. That's the one thing that really stands out for me, and he made that incredible catch. Big time.
All right, let's go to the 13th inning. An 0-2 pitch here. Ball just hangs up, and you got to think Montgomery was probably getting tired, and that will be a double to start things off. And you started to get that impending sense of doom. Cubs are down to one more pitcher left, and then the next hitter, a 2-1 pitch that's way up high, and he just turns on it.
Yeah, Joe Panik had a nice ball game tonight, and that's the unfortunate part of this, in my mind, Cap, is that we watched some giant hitters that were dormant, giant hitters that were non-factors, giant hitters that were not, making much noise at all, start to wake up in this series. And so we know there's going to be a game 4, but the Giants come back. They believe that there's life, and there's hitters in this lineup now that have found their stroke. And Joe Panik is one of those guys. He hadn't done much all series long. He had some big hits in this ball game. How about Buster Posey's at bats tonight? Came in with really no history against Jake Arrieta. He had a big game. So there are guys in this Giant lineup that are starting to believe that their swing is coming around, and it gives them confidence. And this is sometimes what can happen. Cubs are still, they have the upper hand. They've got the series lead right now, 2-1. They can clinch tomorrow. Yes, both teams are going to be fatigued. Both teams were out there all night doing this, as Cappy and I were doing the same thing. But the bottom line is you're going to have to find a way to win a baseball game tomorrow. That is the one disappointing point for me, is that the Giants found something in this ball game. Hope, chance, call it what you will. This was a Madison Bumgarner start that was going in a completely different direction that they were somehow able to find a win out of. And as I said, the at-bats, the batters, the hitters for the San Francisco Giants are going to walk into tomorrow's start feeling a little bit better about some of their swings.
All right, let's hear from Joe Madden, brought to you by Xfinity.
Question for Joe. Just raise your hand, Phil, right here.
Joe, in the 8th inning, obviously you didn't want Rondon to walk the first guy, but when you put him in, were you thinking that Chapman would maybe be a 6-out save night for him?
Well, I was hoping not. Woody pitched against Belt. I liked that. He gets a base hit. And then Ronnie on Posey was a better matchup based on what's been going on lately with Chapman versus Posey. So I like that, too. Now, had he gotten Posey out, I would have let him pitch to Pence right there, but there was a threat for a bunt. There's all kinds of things they could have done there, and I know it's hard to bunt 100 miles an hour. So let's just bring him in right there, give him a little wiggle room. He gets to strike out, and then you kind of feel okay about things. And give Gillespie credit, man. He did it a couple of days ago. He got an elevated fastball and hit it to the far part of the ballpark. I think it surprised a lot of people. That's just a good at-bat on his part, and then followed by a Crawford hit. So I did not want to have to do that, but I felt we had to do it under the circumstances.
Next question over here to the left again.
Joe, a lot of times a game like this can be a punch in the gut, but you guys have been pretty resilient all year. What's the feeling like, and you pretty confident that you guys will be able to shake this thing off?
Good baseball game. That's my takeaway. I think that both sides should be somewhat exhilarated. Obviously, they win, so they're going to feel a bit better about it, but there's nothing on our side to be ashamed of. I was really proud of our kids, man. How about Montgomery at the end there? We're down to CJ in the bullpen, and he's not thrown that many pitches in an outing this year, so I did not want to have to put him in a 3 or 4 inning potential situation. Plus, they had all these lefties, so I felt good about Monty going as far as he possibly could. If we had caught the lead, then I was definitely going to flip it over to CJ at that point. But up and down, everybody got to play pretty much. Tommy didn't get in the lineup today, and CJ didn't play. Otherwise, pretty complete effort on our part. And I loved our way. I thought we played it hard, we played it right, and they beat us.
Joe, how
And to the right. Wait till I call on you, please. Go ahead.
Sorry.
To the right.
How challenging is it to manage in games like this, and where does this one rank in maybe some of the all-time tough ones you've been involved with?
You know, in the playoffs, I was involved in a game in Boston a couple years ago. We had a pretty nice lead, and they came back and beat us in Boston, like a 6-point lead, something like that. So that was kind of a tough moment. This tonight, obviously, like I said, you want to win that game. You had it right there. You had your good guys, your best guys, and everything seemed to be lining up properly, and you didn't win. That's just a baseball game, and you got to give them credit. You got to give them credit, man. They kept fighting, and you knew that they would. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to leave here pretty good tonight, because when you're in the dugout among your players and they're playing like that with that kind of enthusiasm and effort and just everything right about them, and we don't win, that doesn't mean you get upset, man. Just come back tomorrow and let's see what we can do tomorrow and hopefully shut it out. But great baseball game from both teams.
Right here in the center.
Yeah.
Joe, the numbers show that Bumgarner's velocity was down tonight. Were you aware of that early in the game?
I thought that he was wanting to throw more off-speed pitches, so maybe he wasn't feeling it tonight. That's probably what it was. I mean, sometimes a guy doesn't feel it, and they'll go to Plan B, and he has a great Plan B with his curveball and his cutter and his changeup. So I thought you're right. I didn't see the bigger number on the board, but he still pitched well and effectively. We got the 3 runs quickly from our pitcher, home run, and it was really important. We only got 3 runs out of 85 pitches in 4 innings. That always concerns me when that happens. I've seen us do that before, where we had in the 80s after 3 or 4 innings and minimal runs. Never a good sign, I don't think. However, we did have the lead going into the latter part of the game, gave us a chance to win it. But from Bumgarner's perspective, I think he was not feeling his fastball.
And right here to the right.
Joe, I think it was just yesterday you were telling the beat guys that how difficult it can be for a closer to come in with inherited runners, and he did strike out Pence. Mm-hmm. Was that a tough call in your mind? I know you just talked about it a little bit, but did you have to weigh that tough spot for?
No, I had it set up before the inning began based on their lineup construction. I was just hoping it wasn't 6 outs. You know, that was the whole point. I mean, there was a potential there for maybe 4 outs. You know, if we get Belt or 2 out of Belt, Posey, Pence, get 2 out of those 3 out, and obviously you're in a better spot. And it's even a better spot mentally for him. I mean, that's the part that's much more difficult, having to get out good hitters, 6 outs in the latter part of the game. And that's always been my concern. So it was set up that he had Gillespie. And in my mind, we were looking for at least maybe 1, possibly 2. And then if you get like a 1, 2, 3 inning, then he's got a clean 9th. But it didn't play that way.
And right here in the center.
Yes, sir.
Joe, you're getting a lot of production out of your pitchers at the plate. Can you tell us an explanation for that? Are they doing extra work, or how do you explain that?
They're good. They're good athletes. Jake's hit homers before. Kyle Hendricks moves the baseball. Jason Hamill's not even playing right now. He's one of the best hitters out of the group. Johnny Lester, everybody makes fun of his batting average, but this guy's got a really technically sound swing. Who am I missing in there? Johnny Lackey. Johnny Lackey, you know, Johnny Lackey can swing the bat a little bit too, so they do. Travis Wood was a starter, and he's always swung the bat well. We work on it. I don't make them bunt all the time. They go up there. They know they have a chance to hit sometimes. And Chris Bosio and the guys do a good job of keeping them prepped. That's my best explanation.
And again, Phil.
Yo.
Joe, do you kind of surprise yourself by double switching a Gold Glover out of right field, and then the job
Almora does,
when
yeah.
he was out there?
I mean, there was no choice. It was just based on, I mean, it had to do it because if Chappie gets out of that inning, he was going to come up 4th, I think, the next inning. And even if they tied his score, then it becomes more pertinent to do something differently. So it was just awkward. I put him in there at the beginning just because obviously it augmented the defense, him and Contreras. But then in the way it played out, I had to take him out. But I was okay because Almora was available, and I have a lot of confidence in Albert. So, yeah, it's very unusual to do things like that.
Just how about the play on Albert made on the
Posey, yeah. I mean, he almost caught the other one. Albert is a really good outfielder, so you probably don't feel as good about making that move if you have to with somebody else going in the game. But with Albert going in the game, I felt good about it.
And all the way in the back.
Joe, after a very long game like this, you've gone through a lot of pitchers and people on your roster. Is there any carryover effect on something like that for tomorrow?
No, I honestly believe our boys will be fine. And among the Chappie only threw about 20 pitches, I think, when we got him out. Travis, minimal work. Montgomery's definitely out tomorrow. Rondone's good. Strobe's good. Edwards, they're all good except for Montgomery tomorrow. So we're in pretty good shape. The position players, it's exhilarating. They all got in the game. They kind of like that.
And right here in front.
Yes, sir.
Joe, 3 offers in the middle of the season. Nobody notices, but since it's the first 3 postseason games for Anthony, is there any concern that he might start to press?
He doesn't appear to be. Like when you talk, I talk to these guys a lot before they go up there because I stand in that corner of the dugout, and he seems to be fine. I don't see him pressing. I think maybe he's out of his zone a little bit. He just has to organize the strike zone a little bit again. But in talking to him, I don't feel that from him.
Is there a last one for Joe? All right, we'll let him get back. Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Day and night, what are your emotions after a game like
Jake Arrieta.
Really just, that was an incredible game on both sides. Went back and forth, you know, and they earned it. They pulled this one out. They were able to just, you know, kind of keep pushing and keep us off the board. But, you know, Mike threw the ball extremely well for a number of innings. We just came up a little short.
Is this more physically draining or emotionally draining right now for everybody?
Well, you know, this is October baseball. You know, we know games are going to be very closely contested. These guys are no slouch. Obviously, with their pedigree in the playoffs, you know, we have our work cut out for us. You know, we got to see a lot of their arms out of the bullpen. We had some great at-bats. Obviously, that 2-run homer Chris hit extended the game. You know, we continue to give ourselves opportunities. You know, fortunately, we're up 2-1. We get an opportunity to close the series out tomorrow.
Jake, it was literally yesterday now, but what about your home run?
Well, you know, he's really effective up in the strike zone. You know, I was in, I think, a 1-2 or 0-2 count. Just wanted to, you know, put a nice easy swing on it and try and find the barrel. That's what I was able to do. Put us in a good spot. You know, we had a chance to win the game, but you know they made some plays and swung the bat really well to turn the tides in their favor tonight.
What can you say about Montgomery's effort?
Well, it was huge. We needed that. You know, we needed to keep him in the game. You know, to avoid having to go elsewhere. And he held down the fort for quite a while for us. You know, they had a couple big hits in that last inning, the Crawford double. But you know, it was going to come down to who got the big hit, and you know, they were able to in the late innings tonight.
How did you feel on the mound?
Felt good. Yeah, felt good.
What do you remember with all the twists and turns and ups and downs of pitching the defense about this game?
Well, all of it. You know, the emotions. You know, we were that close, but at the same time, you know, we know the task is going to be an easy one. These guys aren't going to roll over and just, you know, let us clinch the series, you know, in their ballpark. So we're going to have to come out tomorrow and, you know, be ready to go again.
It's today. Come out today.
Today, yeah. Well, we'll get a little sleep, but you know, it's tough to not get up for games like this. You know, the emotions are just going to continue to run high throughout the playoffs, and that's kind of what you live off.
After your home run, there were some missed opportunities, runners on base. Do you feel like tomorrow you have to hit those guys?
Well, I mean, you want to get the hits in those situations, but you know, it's not an easy thing to do. Obviously, the guys on the other side executed pitches quite well, especially later in the ball game. We'll just have to capitalize on mistakes they do make, as we always do.
Be a champion, I guess you have to beat a champion.
Yeah. Obviously, we took care of business at home. We were right there, close to winning the ball game tonight, and you know, I expect us to be in a similar position tomorrow. You know, hopefully we can, you know, do a couple things differently. You know, we swung the bats really well. We played really good defense. You know, the guys on the other side just made one more play than they did tonight.
Feel like that's going to be considered a classic game of
it feels like it, you know. I mean, game 1 of the series, now game 3 to play out like it did. just a tremendous start to the playoffs for us. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. All right, there you go. There's Jake Arrieta. Look, it was a tremendous baseball game to watch. The wrong team won from our perspective.
Well,
Tip your cap to the Giants.
I thought Jake.
They have a pedigree.
They do. I mean, again, this isn't a knock on anybody. I mean, the bottom line is this. I think we all feel the same thing. Jake pitched a pretty nice ball game. You had a chance to beat Madison Bumgarner. You put yourself into position. The 8th inning got incredibly complicated. I think most of us feel it got more complicated than it needed to.
But for me, the game was lost, for me, early in the game when you had multiple opportunities with men on base and guys did not come through.
Well,
put it on the hitters.
It's been there. I mean, we've talked about that a lot this year. I mean, there's games like that where that happens, and it certainly can be chalked up in this one as well. I mean, there were some chances to score some more runs, and we didn't come through. You know, here I make it a key an awful lot. Runners in scoring position. We talk about that a lot around here, and part of that is getting this lineup going. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, you have the feeling, and postseason baseball is sometimes a little bit more complicated. Chris Bryant's hot right now. I mean, he's big, huge home run, nice ball game, swinging the bat really well. Anthony Rizzo right behind him, not so much. I mean, obviously hitless in the series so far. Love to see that combination factor into tomorrow that usually turns into a win. So, I mean, there's definitely some things that you're saying still need to improve and need to get better moving forward. But at the same time, the Cubs are in a tremendous position. This is a tough loss, yes, but it's one to easily forget. You have a chance to wrap up the series tomorrow and get out and play a good baseball game. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on both starters, Matt Moore, John Lackey, and probably a couple of tired teams regardless of the start time.
All right, time for a break here on Cubs Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We'll be right back. You'll hear from Anthony Rizzo next.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Through it all.
If you feel like singing a song and you want other people to sing along, just sing what you feel. Don't let anyone say it's wrong. When there's a light, what light? Well, there's a light, what light? Well, there's a light, white light.
Did you just see that? That was awesome. We have to try it. Okay. Okay, mine's not working. Maybe you have to bump it. Oh, yeah, do the bump it thing. Right. Okay. Yeah.
You can take money out using the BMO Harris app.
You want to buy a hairless cat? There's a pet store down the street.
Cool.
I think she said BMO Harris app. Yeah, that makes more sense.
When your phone is your debit card, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help.
When you visit Canals BMW, your toughest decision is which BMW will you drive home? A sporty BMW convertible? BMW sedan? BMW coupe? Or one of these BMW high-performance luxury models? And of course, everybody can get into one of these beauties. Canals BMW. Outstanding selection, competitive pricing, always a great decision.
Pat Hughes reporting from Wrigleyville Sports, where the excitement is building. Devin is getting a new home white jersey customized while he waits. He'll be ready for game action in no time. Ashley is having fun taking selfies in her new Cubs t-shirt. Fits like a glove. Colin is testing out a new bat. Get out the tape measure, long gone. Across the street from Wrigley Field, Wrigleyville Sports is your one-stop shop for everything Cubs. Open 7 days a week or anytime at WrigleyvilleSports.com.
All right, time for our Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Who's hot and who's not? Who's hot in their postseason career? How about Carlos Beltran? 55 games, a 323 BA, 16 homers, 41 RBIs, and a 1078 OPS. Who's not? Brett Gardner, brutal. 34 games, 203 batting average, no homers, 7 RBIs, and a woeful 461 OPS. Man, welcome back to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. He's Todd Hollingsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Anthony Rizzo meeting the media in the locker room. Take a listen.
For you, what's happening for you at the plate, or what's not happening for you at the plate?
It's baseball, so obviously had not the best 3 games to start off, but
It's just get back tomorrow and play.
Anthony, how do you describe the emotions in this game? You guys were on your feet, cheering and jumping on guys, and then they come back.
Yeah, it's the emotion of the game. You know, we're all in, and we're a close group, so we're all pulling for each other, and I'm sure it really shows.
Obviously, they showed they're not going to go down easy. How important after Ariada's home run, you guys missed, left a lot of guys on base to really capitalize on that tomorrow or today's game.
Yeah, every run you could push across, you got to try to take advantage of, but it's not easy. So their job's to get us out, our job's to hit the ball. So we just fell short tonight.
You guys have been consistently a hard team to beat. Even when you lost this year, it seemed like you fought them to the very end. Do you take that out of this game tonight, all you guys?
I think it's what we've done all year. We went down there in the 8th. Rarely do we blow the lead, but we did, and we knew if we held them there just 2 runs, we could score. So, and we did, and we fought, and we fell short.
What was the plan against Bumgarner? You guys were taking it deep into account. You guys looked very patient against him.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna come at you. He's that type of pitcher where he's gonna bring it, and you better be ready. So, guys had a really good approach off him tonight, and we grinded him, got his pitch count up, and just fell short.
When you that kind of the tough part, though, when you had a chance to add on.
I mean, you always want to add on. So we felt good, but we knew that club. The Giants are the Giants. It's like I said before the series, it's going to be tough to beat them with everything that they have, that they've done. So they're battle tested, and so are we. So we'll bounce back tomorrow.
Talk about the gutty performance in Montgomery and what he gave you guys an opportunity.
Unbelievable. He feels maybe a little down right now, but going out there, throwing however many innings he threw, just pure emotion right there, and you tip your hat to him.
All right, there he is, Anthony Rizzo. Let's take a look at the Cubs box score. Dexter had a knock at the top. Big day for Chris Bryant, that dramatic 2-run home run that tied the ball game. Tough night for Rizzo, Soler, Zobrist a knock. Addison Russell had one. 2-hit night for Javi. Nothing for Miggy Montero, and the big 3-run home run for Jake Arrieta. And our winning box score, this one belongs to the San Francisco Giants. Wrigleyville Sports winning box score. Span at the top got going a bit. 2 hits, 1 for Belt. A 3-hit night for Buster Posey. Also had a walk at an RBI and a run scored. Pence had a rough night, but did have a knock. Same with Connor Gillespie, that huge hit. Brandon Crawford, 2 hits, 3 for 4, and 2 walks for Joe Panik. On base 5 times. And all spells out a 6-5 Giants win.
Well, as I said a little bit earlier, when you look at the winning box score from the San Francisco Giants, Cappy, I mean, I know, like Brandon Crawford. Brandon Crawford was over. He really wasn't having a series at all. Then he gets 2 huge hits, one off for Oldest Chapman, then a huge double. Panik, same story. I mean, you've now woken up a few of their hitters, and that's what concerns me going into tomorrow, is that I kind of like them dormant. I didn't want to see anybody start to wake up. I still feel like our lineup is better. We've got more power. We saw that again tonight. But when you talk about a team and you give them a flicker or a glimmer or whatever you want to call it of hope, they can kind of take that and run with it a little bit. They get the game at their home ballpark. So it would be really good to see the Cubs come out tomorrow roaring. Hopefully they make a statement maybe early in the game and get some things, some momentum going in this one, much like they did tonight, but hopefully finish it.
All right, we'll be right back on Cubs Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Stay tuned. You'll hear from Chris Bryant when we return.
In Chicago, some things just go together, like front porches and Blue W's, bricks and ivy, Waveland Avenue and souvenirs, Jake and State Farm. Like home and auto insurance with State Farm, they just go together, and they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Meeting people is my life. I was embarrassed to show my teeth. It was time to do something that was going to be permanent.
The Clear Choice one-day approach is making dental implants a reality for people all over the country who suffer from missing or failing teeth.
We have expertise that you might not find anywhere else, all in one location.
The next day, I had a new smile. Couldn't wait to show some folks.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I had the best smile I'd ever had in my life.
Call Clear Choice today.
Experience the thrill of the Lexus Performance line. Because the ultimate expression of power is control. This is the pursuit of perfection.
You know the feeling. The rush of every roll, every flip, sip, bite, note, and night. You know the feeling. Get it at Ameristar.
Cubs fans, show your team pride with Cubs checking and an official Cubs MasterCard debit card available only at your local Wintrust Community Bank. Go to wintrust.com/Cubs to learn more. Member FDIC. Lard, our UPS store taking care of business. Player of the game, no doubt, it's Chris Bryant. Here's his dramatic game-tying home run in the 9th inning. Thank you, car. Right off the roof.
Right at the roof of the car.
How about that? That was big. But in the end, the Giants win it, but this still, what a shot of confidence for that young man.
Well, Chris Bryant, I mean, goodness, he's been really swinging the bat particularly well, but I love to see the fight back. I mean, that's a game, you know, so many times we've talked about it, Cappy, and classically, over my career and through most guys' careers, you look at what happened in that 8th inning, that usually turns into a Giants 5-3 win. I've seen it too many times not to know. To watch this Cubs team and Chris Bryant come back in that situation right there with that big at bat and fight back and say, you know what, we're not giving in. We got 3 outs to play with. We're going to find a way. He comes up with the big 2-run homer and ties this thing up. It's part of what defines this group and makes this group great. I've watched them do it for 2 years. It stands out. I didn't see enough of this in my 12 years. I didn't play with a team like this. I didn't play against a team like this. These guys are special.
I thought 2 huge at-bats tonight in the game. Javi Baez had like a 10-pitch at-bat that really was, I thought, defining.
Yeah, down in the count, worked his way back,
worked his way all the way back. And then the Dexter Fowler at-bat in the 9th was another really good at-bat before Chris hit the home run. Now let's hear from Chris Bryant meeting the media.
Yeah, obviously, you know, Jake getting over there. Great start. I mean, it was fun. I mean, our pitchers, man, they're unbelievable. I mean, you know, for myself, I mean, it's, you know, probably the biggest hit of my career, but obviously a little short, but nonetheless a great effort.
Watching the defensive plays like Albert going out there, I mean, that's all these little...
Yeah, that was one of the best catches I've seen. I mean, if he didn't catch that, the game's over then probably. I mean, so, I mean, I can't say enough about him. I thought, you know, that last one too, I thought he was going to catch it too high on the wall. So, you know, I just thought it was a great effort from everybody, and you can't win them all, and this is a good learning experience, and we'll learn from it. But good to be in an atmosphere like this and in an away city, so a lot to take from this game.
Chris, can you just talk about the range of emotions throughout a very, very long game?
Yeah, we're all pretty exhausted. I'm sure they're exhausted too. You know, a lot of thinking involved. I mean, but that's playoff baseball at its best. I mean, great for the game, a game like that. I mean, you know, but I just think it's more motivation to come out ready tomorrow.
That's what I was going to say. How do you not be drained after all those emotions you guys experienced tonight that coming in tomorrow, later on today, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all completely fine. I mean, I think you just have to appreciate that it was a great game. I mean, I certainly am. I mean, there's a lot to take from it, a lot of positives. So, yeah, there's no worry here. I mean, it's just a great game on both sides.
All right, let's check out the Ameristar Casino Hotel pitching recap. Jake Arrieta, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, a walk through 97 pitches. Mad Bum went just 5 innings. He was not great tonight. 7 hits, 3 earned, all on the Jake home run. He struck out 4, he walked 1 through 101 pitches, and he was not really sharp. They had a man up the 2nd inning to think about bringing in George Cantos. Here's Bumgarner. Take a look at his, he just wasn't himself.
Well, the ball was elevated. We talked about this in the pregame show, how you want to get at Madison Bumgarner. You want to get the ball up. You want to get it out over the plate. Chris Bryant got things rolling. I mean, I really thought there was good at-bats. I mean, the one thing that was important, at least in my mind, was getting his pitch count up, driving it up. I mean, even when he didn't have his stuff, you still look at the bottom line and you say, we only got 3 runs in 5 innings. And I think that's what Joe Madden was kind of talking about. There was some really good at-bats. We had some really long at-bats. We had the Jake Arrieta moment. But it was all said and done. When he left this game, it was like, you know, it felt like maybe we should have done a little bit more offensively. And I think that's to your point, Cappy. It just felt weird because it felt like it was a 6-0 ball game, and it was only 3-0 at the time. And, you know, you just kept thinking this Giants team's kind of lingering, kind of lurking a little bit, even after getting him out of the ball game. It was still the goal all along, and it will be if we, you know, if you ever have to deal with him again. It's always the mindset going up against an ace to get him out there, get him out of there as quickly as possible. So loved what I saw from the Cubs as far as getting his pitch count up. 101 pitches in 5 innings, put us in position to get into their bullpen. Unfortunately, we didn't really do anything with it.
No, we did not. We had our opportunities and just could not plate any more runs. Jake Arrieta, I thought, was pretty good tonight. Early, he was eye-popping, struck out the side in the first. His velocity was sitting 95, 96, and he got a little tired.
I thought he did a fantastic job. I honestly, maybe he was going to go back out there. Love to see the fastball command, was around the zone, made pitches, had a couple moments. And interestingly enough, I think it was the walk to panic there in the 2nd inning. So he threw 4 consecutive balls, and then the first pitch to Bumgarner, he ran, Miggy Montero did a great job, ran out there, got him back online. Like we talked about that. There were moments where Jake just kind of loses that command, and you got to get him quick. You got to get to him and say, hey, listen, man, we got to get this right again. And he seemed to respond to that. So good work working with Miggy Montero and getting that done in this ball game. I thought he did a fantastic job. Listen, Buster Posey had a nice game. Buster Posey is one of the best right-handed hitters in the game of baseball. I know he had numbers against him, and we're thinking shutdown, but I thought Jake did a fantastic job. There was not a whole lot of hard contact other than a couple hitters. So all in all, a very nice game here for Jake in San Francisco.
Yep, 6 innings again, 6 hits, 2 earned, 97 pitches. At one point, I thought he would go back out for the 7th, but it sounded like he was done.
Well, I think that he'd kind of towed the line. Remember, he gave up a run in the 5th. The leadoff triple, Denard Span, and then you had the sac fly from Belt. I don't know. You kind of worked your way to the bottom of that lineup. It would have had to have rolled back over again. He was going to have to face Span again, ultimately. I just thought it was a nice, clean spot to get him out of there. 97 pitches, and kind of with the storyline being what it's been in the second half. Jake walking away with a solid start, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Yeah, I just thought maybe it leads to the next big moment.
All right, we'll be right back. Cubs Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield continues. Stay tuned. You'll hear from Mike Montgomery, who was really good tonight when we return.
Look at it, lads. New York City. Just doesn't get any better than this.
Actually, it does. With Grubhub, you can get the best foods delivered anywhere.
Gluten-free pad thai here for Seamus.
I am Seamus.
Gluten-free?
Yeah. Can't even taste the difference. Oh, you gotta lock up that front tire.
How do you maximize your Sunday football experience? The DirecTV Red Zone channel.
We have a full day of football.
With non-stop live coverage of all the action and none of the commercials.
You want to get interactive?
Get every score and then some, all on one screen, every Sunday.
You ready for that?
Including games next to games next to games. Even stream it on your favorite devices, so you can watch your team on the big screen and everyone else on the other.
Touchdown!
The Red Zone channel. This fall when you upgrade to NFL Sunday Ticket Max, channel 703, only on DirecTV.
At Mike Anderson Chevrolet of Maryville, we make car buying fun.
Want to have some fun today?
Save up to 30% on select 2016 Chevys in stock, like this new Malibu LT. Was $31,034, now only $21,985. Or save up to 27% on select 2016s in stock, like this new Chevy Trax LS. Was $21,710, now just $15,998.
Visit Mike Anderson Chevrolet in Merrillville at I-65 and 61st Avenue.
Mike Anderson Chevrolet, the Chevy Giants.
See you soon.
Get up, get up.
What time is it?
I think I know what it's time for.
If your family is complete, the safest and most effective form of birth control is a vasectomy. Call today for a same-day consultation and procedure in one of our 3 state-of-the-art facilities.
Daddy, how are babies made?
I can tell you how they're not made.
Advanced Urology Associates. Safe, simple, and effective.
Jumped on an elevated fastball. It doesn't take away from the fact that Mr. Montgomery had an outstanding effort tonight. I thought more was asked of him than just about anybody in the building tonight, and he delivered. I know that this is more of a running on fumes, part of the conversation. Think back to the Crawford double. It was an 0-2 pitch. It was hanging. That was an elevated fastball.
He got tired.
He was tired. He was fatigued.
All right, here's Mike Montgomery in the locker room.
Pretty late.
It wasn't fatigue outside of normal, and I just made some bad pitches. Left the curveball up, fastball up, and the innings before, I think I was making good pitches, and they took advantage of them. So you got to give them credit, and we're a confident group of guys there, so we'll be looking forward to tomorrow.
How hard is that? You have to be perfect for like 5 innings. It's got to be difficult.
It was tough. I just tried to stay mentally focused and, tell myself that, hey, just keep making good pitches, keep getting outs, keep getting us back in the dugout, and focus on that. And, it's definitely disappointing the way it ended, but, I think we'll come back tomorrow ready to go.
Chris, teammates all point to you as the reason they even got that far, so you must feel good about what you were able to.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that, and my job and my thinking was just give these guys a chance, and unbelievable play by Almora and some other good defensive plays. It was just, hey, I want to do it for these guys, and it unfortunately didn't work out.
Between Chris's home run, Almora's catch, that had to go down one of those classic games.
Yeah, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster, and there's some close calls there, and some good plays, and made some big pitches when I needed to, and then for it to end like that, it's definitely an emotional roller coaster and exhausting. But we'll go back tonight, get some sleep, and be ready for tomorrow.
Did you ever imagine that you'd be pitching like 5 innings or so in this game?
I definitely didn't. I knew it was definitely a possibility coming into the series and go extra innings. And at that point, it was, hey, I want to give these guys a chance and give our team a chance. And it was an exciting experience for sure. And I could be lying if I said I wasn't nervous when I first got out there, and I felt like I settled in a little bit. And and then after that catch, that was one of the best catches I've ever seen, let alone when I'm pitching. So, a lot of credit to them as well. They took advantage and pitched good the last few innings. And, it's going to be a battle. And I think we knew that coming in, and we got to keep playing good baseball until we get that 3rd win.
All right. There's Mike Montgomery. Look, he takes the loss tonight, but he pitched really, really well in a high-leverage spot.
Yeah, fantastic job. Again, what the Cubs asked of him tonight was above and beyond the call of duty, kept the team in the game, and elevated a couple pitches. You heard him say that at the end. He claims he wasn't out of gas. Personally, I thought he was. When you see both of those pitches, both up in the zone, that's the first sign of fatigue starting. Right. Hangs a curveball ahead in the count, and then you see the elevated fastball. So,
all right, we got to take another timeout. Giants beat the Cubs 6-5 in 13 innings. Game 4, 7:30 at AT&T Park tomorrow night. Actually, later tonight. Be right back.
Combining home and auto can save you big. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Did you just see that? That was awesome. We have to try it. Okay. Okay, mine's not working. Maybe you have to bump it. Oh, yeah, do the bump it thing. Right. Okay. Yeah.
You can take money out using the BMO Harris app.
You want to buy a hairless cat?
There's a pet store down the street.
Cool.
I think she said BMO Harris app. Yeah, that makes more sense.
When your phone is your debit card, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank, we're here to help.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Rising from the Midwestern Plains, south of Chicago, is the award-winning Riverside Healthcare. Compassionate hands, focused on healing, helping you along life's journey. Professionals who offer hope and innovation. Experts using the latest technology to solve problems and welcome new beginnings. Seeing things clearly is the first step. Seeing that you're well is what we hold dear. Riverside Healthcare, putting well within reach.
Hello?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Are you serious? Not khakis. What are you wearing?
For fastballs, call me. For saving time and money, call State Farm.
You sound hideous.
All right, let's look back at Todd's Keys from the pregame show sponsored by Blue Cross and Blue Shield.
Okay, thanks, Cappy. You're
welcome.
A little slap happy in here right now. That one moment, I thought Jake did a pretty good job of containing that one moment that seems to kind of creep in there during his starts. There were a couple. I saw Miggy Montero the one time I already expressed it to you. There was one time in that second inning where he was starting to lose it there a little bit. 5 consecutive balls. Miggy went out there, got him right, back online. The fifth inning, maybe we could state the case. The leadoff triple there, Bernard Span might have led to something more. Obviously, he ended up coming in to score, but he contained that trouble as well. In fact, I thought he could have gone back out for a 7th inning, but he did not. Solid start tonight, so nice job there. That one moment, middle away, and the pitch count, we came through flying colors. We're talking about Madison Bumgarner and how do you get to him. They did get pitches up out over the plate. They did make him pay, and they did drive up that pitch count. I thought they put together a fantastic effort. Remember, Madison Bumgarner, Mr. Postseason. He has been doing that for an awful long time, and well, I thought the Cubs did a nice job of putting him down. Late inning hero, we had one. Chris Bryant got it tied. Unfortunately, the late inning heroes turned into giant hitters at the end. Joe Panik, Brandon Crawford, they're the ones who get the biggest amount of credit because the Giants get the win. But Chris Bryant, boy, oh boy, was that a big moment for us and certainly for him.
Yep, here's the Panik hit. That's what won the ball game right there. And again, it was a classic baseball game. I know there are fans that are freaked out in Chicago now. Oh my God, you got this sense of impending doom. You just go out and take care of business tomorrow.
It is playoff baseball. Cap, I said to you yesterday, very rarely, I think there's just very few examples. I know there's a couple, I mean, if you think long and hard enough, of teams that get to the postseason that aren't challenged, whether it's with the scheduling or the start times or you losing game one where everybody senses just an element of panic or poor performance or something of that nature that comes your way during the postseason. Listen, we told you need to get 11 wins. Did you think it was going to be 11-0? I didn't. I didn't think they were going to run the board and win 11 straight.
Agreed.
There was going to be some complications somewhere along the way. The kicker is, especially during the postseason, I know this from my own personal experience, is that when that time and that moment comes, you got to control it. Don't let it get too big. Come back out and play your game tomorrow. Just like Joe Madden said, it's exactly what you want to do. Too many good things happen in this ball game. You kind of show up tomorrow and play your game. It's as simple as that. But again, they were not going 11-0.
All right. Take a quick timeout. We'll come back, give you next game starters for later tonight. Don't forget, Ollie and I will have pregame, postseason lot pregame for you right here on CSM. Be right back.
When you visit Canals BMW, your toughest decision is which BMW will you drive home? A sporty BMW convertible? BMW sedan? BMW coupe? Or one of these BMW high-performance luxury models? And of course, everybody can get into one of these beauties. Canals BMW. Outstanding selection, competitive pricing, always a great decision.
Make sure he's in bed by 8.
Sometimes I get scared.
Scared of what, Danny?
The things Because I can't see.
Got a weird feeling. Almost forgot. In case anything happens.
Dad, I got this.
This rusty mess isn't going anywhere. Don't trust it to just any cleaner. Trust CLR. CLR makes quick work of the toughest jobs, dissolving crusty white buildup so your shower runs like new. CLR cuts through hard water buildup and helps keep your washer running clean. CLR also earned the EPA's Safer Choice seal, so it's safer for your family. Trust the power of the CLR family and trust your clean to CLR. CLR is available at these fine retailers.
Is new car shopping make you lose your mind? Get to Schaumburg Honda Automobiles for great customer service, selection, and savings.
During our sales spooktacular, lease a Honda Civic sedan for just $179 a month, or a CRV for only $199 a month.
Bob Rohrman's Schaumburg Honda Automobiles, just 8 blocks west of the Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road in Schaumburg.
Now let's check out the pitching matchup for tomorrow's Game 4 of this series. It's John Lackey. I didn't come here for a haircut. Came here for jewelry. Let's get it on against Matt Moore, who was acquired for Matt Duffy at the trade deadline. He's 6-5 with a 408 since he came over to San Francisco in 68 1/3, 69 Ks, a 133 whip. Lackey's numbers excellent. So, 105 whip. He's been real solid, and this is what he was brought here for.
Well, both guys have had nice seasons. I think it's just an interesting game. I don't know how this really kind of crept in. Here we are in Game 4 that, both teams have this element of, slight element of fatigue. I think after tonight's ball game, it'll be interesting to see where everybody's at tomorrow.
All right. I will see you later tonight. I'll talk to you on the radio in a little bit. Thanks for watching Cubs Postseason Live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Holly and I back at 6:30 tonight for the pregame show. Game 4 starts at 7:30 out in San Francisco. For our great crew here, this has been Cubs Postseason Live. We'll see you later today.